Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. We are here today. My name is Jojo, and I am joined by my good friend Edgar. We are watching X9 versus Rapture, currently with X9 on Singularity. Edgar, how do you think this set's gonna go?
Well, I mean, Singularity, a very interesting killer, one who on paper has a lot of things that can help, and this is a map which is going to really play into the killer's strengths, this large main building here. But as you can see, survivors have the wherewithal to play around this, not trying to get hit with that virus as quick as possible. It's going to come through in the end there. Going to be interesting to see the add-ons here. We're going to have one that extends the duration of the overclock, the baseball glove, and then another one which will actually give haste, however also reduce the duration of the overclock mode. So essentially just looking to make overclock a massive boon in the chase here. Give yourself that haste, get onto a survivor as quick as possible, get fast in. However, Molly Sal's very small, but hit gonna be coming through there. That is the extended overclock duration, just getting the value you really want it to.
Yeah, for sure, and this is definitely looking like an early down already, although I'm not counting Ryan out of it yet. Now I am. I mean, that was a pretty solid overclock break on the pallet. Doesn't get hit by Shaq though. Doesn't have enough time for an M1. Will? Yeah, that's a... Oh, wow, that whip. Wow.
Yeah, an EMP is actually going to be coming through. Body block there, so buying just enough time. That one miss there, the whiff made all the difference in the end. Now has the God Palette to play around. He realizing does not want any of this smoke, which has been politely requested of him by Rion, and instead he's going to be running this one all the way back around. Going for the lunge, eventually going to get it there. Those long limbs of Hux going to be just proving their kill here. But now things get really bad for this killer, because now the EMPs are coming online. And that's one thing that you do not want to deal with against this killer. Killer is actually going to be blinded there. Very entertaining.
Yeah, but that's also the party starter down already, and I mean that could have been more useful later. But I suppose Wispy got blinded anyway, so it's fine. One hook on this Fang here with one injured. I would have to imagine that the other two are on generators at this point in time. Gonna break the breakable wall on main because why would you not, especially on that killer?
Yeah, Wispy doesn't really seem to care about, obviously, when you go through your cameras, when you try and use your power, when you're right next to a survivor, you are very slow, you're locked out of action for quite a long time. Don't seem to care. This is just going to be a classic camp to second stage and then see what happens. After second stage, likely going to be trying to apply pressure, utilize sloppy, utilize pain resonance, utilize pop. Yeah, so second stage is going to be coming through there. Looking to utilize every single advantage that you can get here on this killer, because Singularity, again, despite having so many tools on paper to make them really, really strong, those EMPs are an absolute godsend for survivors. And yeah, actually not really going to be looking to pressure out the gens too much. They're going to be looking to come back right over here. He's going to be getting the lock onto the Nancy. Going to be seeing whether any progress actually wants to come through with this, but seems relatively content. Just stick around, keep an eye on the hook, and make sure that Fang had fun playing Dead by Daylight today.
Yeah, definitely. And like you said, the EMPs are kind of really difficult to deal with as Singularity once they start coming out. Got a hit on the Nancy in a chase, and Fang has been unhooked. Looks like Wispy just wants to go after Fang, get her out of the game, which is, you know, probably the correct choice at this point in time. Oh, yep. Got the gunk on her, although they do have plenty of EMPs ready.
EMP. Yeah, that's absolutely massive there. That caught, not only did that remove the slipstream from herself, but also remove one. Oh, but getting cut off there. Exactly not what you want. We do have this Renato on the sidelines to try and be a little cheeky, maybe get a save in him, but no, kill is going to be coming through. So at the very least, that is going to be 3 stages secured here, but a lot of progress has come through on these gens. 2 injured survivors though, they might need to reset, or maybe there's a chance that Wispy here could make some form of comeback.
Yeah, it's certainly possible, although it is looking pretty good for the survivors because, I mean, only 1 dead with 0 other hooks at 1 gen left is kind of nutty. Although, again, like you said, Singularity definitely has a lot of tools that can make him powerful, so it could go either way still, you know?
Yeah, interesting enough, Flix does actually hold an EMP here. He's going to be opting to hold on to it, not using it to instantly remove the slipstream. Like, they're going to be using it in a stronger position, such as Shaq, or using it when injured there. But the teleport still came through anyway. The overclock for Haze is still going to come through. And that 5% bonus making all the difference there. Without that, Wispy would not have got that hit onto Flix there straight up. Is going to be another hook stage coming through. And that is pretty damn good. It's what you want. You're not expected to do successfully wildly well, but now you have someone else who, should you so wish, you can camp out. In the meantime, is going to be another pain res coming through. And you actually saw the gen right in that corner explode. That means that is the most progressed gen, which means that there is not a lot of progress on any of these gens, so Wispy can actually chill out for a little bit, at least.
Yeah, they need to start getting gen pressure in, or else this could go south very fast for the survivors. But you know, we'll see. Finding Renato here, already gunked. That's not good for him, and it's always just rough to be chased by Singularity when you're gunked.
Gunked, my lord.
Yeah, that's what I call it.
Yeah, I respect it. I respect it. It seems to work out here. But yeah, this cam is going to be coming through. And as we say, these gens are... It's not quite a perfect 3-gen here, but they are in relatively defensible position, especially because Singularity doesn't really struggle with control or surveying gens. You do see these EMPs from the survivors come out, and yeah, Nancy trying to get behind the tree there. Going to be hit with the slipstream once again. Every single time that slipstream is on you, it makes life more and more difficult. Rian does have the EMP here. Going to see whether it wants to be popped even more. But yeah, these gens are hardly progressing, to be honest.
Yeah, and also Flix has gone into second stage, so it's just currently... I think it's going south right now for the survivors, like I said it might earlier. But that is an unhook. EMP'd the camera, though. And looks like, yeah, Wispy just has enough pressure to chill and watch these gens. Getting in a chase with Boltar. Yeah, that's a down.
Yeah, down going to be coming through there in the end. So very, very well played from Wispy. So it's going to be another fresh hook again. Obviously, stages is what you want, but fresh hook is something that you can sure as hell take. And that wasn't a pain res there, which could end up being a problem. So you now need to figure out which gen you want to use your pop on. And yeah, exactly, that's the information you want. You know the gen in the corner's barely progressed. You checked on that one here. Might as well use pop here. It's going to get me most value, 25% down on that generator. Just everything that you can get. And Singularity really seems to be thriving in this late stage of the game. It feels like people remember how it starts and how it ends. At the start of the game, there's no EMPs, you can get your slipstreams up just fine. And at the end game, well, there's only so many gens coming around. Winning the mind game there, Flix. Is that going to be Flix out of the game?
It sure should be, unless there's a flashlight save. But yeah, it seems to have gone south for these survivors. That is 2 dead, 1 gen left, and I believe Nancy has been hooked once so far, with Renato being hooked 0 times. And this is kind of a brutal map because of all the openness and all the trees that Singularity can put cameras on, especially with this 3-gen. It's just kind of rough.
Yeah, another pop coming through, and once again, you're seeing the strength of Singularity locking these generators down. Reset likely going to have to coming through here on the Nancy, so it's just buying more time for the gens to tick down and make this game even harder, even more protracted. And realistically, you need at least 3 survivors here. 4 would be preferable, 3 would be the minimum. 2, it's not a very nice number to consider when you're looking at how many gens you need. But now just the presence of the EMP. Yes, even though you're EMP'd, you can't apply the slipstream onto anyone, you still gain the knowledge, you still gain the info of where the survivors are. So looks like their idea is that they're going to be splitting on these 2 gens, the furthest points away from each other, probably the least worst situation that you could be in.
Yeah, definitely, and with Nancy injured, it is currently not looking so great for the survivors, like, at all. I really don't think they can get this last generator done unless some miracle happens, and that's Nancy gunked again, so she's gonna have to... Yeah, she used her EMP already. And going on to Renato here, taking him to the... excuse me. Taking him to the tile. Oh, that was a great mind game by Renato, yeah, not vaulting.
Yeah, seems to work out there. But in that case, it's going to be vaulting, and that is the killing blow, the coup de grace we need to figure this out here. That is another EMP. So it's always very sad when you go through the camera and figure out that it has been EMP'd, but still getting that information down. Now both survivors are injured, so remember what we said earlier about how this Nancy was in a really rough position, had to play incredibly safe, incredibly careful. Take that, but make it double. This is trouble now for this. This is trouble now for the side of Rapture.
Yeah, even with all the EMPs in the world, this is still a pretty grody 3-gen, especially with Singularity on such an open map with all these... it's open as well as having a bunch of trees in some part. Like I said, he can just replace cameras as extremely easily, even if they get EMP'd, and then, their gen pressure's just completely dead because you replace the cameras and they don't have an EMP in their hand.
Yeah, another EMP is going to be coming out here from the Renato. Actually, both of them, so realizing most survivors are in that location right now. Scratch marks, however, very, very obvious here. You're looking for that shot. You're looking for that crucial teleport. Again, Singularity can close so much distance, and and that's a problem. You're hearing the TPs coming through there. Ryan, once again, getting caught up, and finally, lack of EMPs are going to be catching up with him, but who needs EMPs when you have a big-ass tree?
Yeah, that's very true, and, well, both survive. Oh,
that's the angle you needed.
And that's a down on Nancy. Wow. Yeah, it's, like you said, he can just close distance at extremely large distances, extremely fast. He teleports. That's going into overclock mode and a chase with Renato. This could be it. Yeah.
Well. How about that, Wispy? Taking it back from an incredibly rough mid-game. Gens would pop in, EMPs would let him loose. You'd think that we're playing, I don't know, you'd think that we're playing Deep Rock Galactica or something. But no, this is Dead by Daylight, and at the end of the day, Killer is going to be feasting here. Just has to pick up Bolitar. 4 gens completed. Looking at the fresh hook on every survivor, 12 stages. Pretty damn good performance, all things considered. The 3-gen at the end was just too much. Just too insurmountable, and eventually the war of attrition was run by the Singularity, finding that crucial angle at the very end, keeping up with that uptick of EMP timing. Yeah, everyone's going to be hooked up, barring some, I don't know, incredible Kobe from Ryan, which I don't even think is able to happen. I'm not even sure if that's allowed, but regardless.
It's not allowed, no.
Not even allowed, so yeah. It in the industry, as they say, it is now Jova for the survivors. They've done all they can. Time for X9 to go on the survivor side, see whether X9 to go on the survivor side and see whether Rapture are going to be able to put more success on the Singularity as Wispy decides to celebrate by shooting a wall several times, which is also how I celebrate whenever a good event happens in my life.
Yeah, that was just dominating display by Wispy there, because even though they were so far behind in the beginning, they still managed to keep their cool and just, win.
Just win, forehead.
Yeah,
just
exactly.
Yeah, brilliant stuff there. Wispy putting in a phenomenal performance, and also you could really see the value of those add-ons coming through at the very end. Getting that extra speed as well as the extra overclock duration, just turning yourself into a 120 killer on a lot of those tiles can be incredibly valuable. We know from the made for this meta way back when how much of a difference just 3%, 5% speed can make when consistently used. So we're going to be seeing whether or not Rapture are going to be able to put in a decent showing here on the Singularity. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back very, very shortly. A performance of mechanical proportions coming out there from Wispy, putting in a very strong showing. 4K, 4K, all the stages, all the freshness on the Singularity coming out first. Going to be seeing whether this is something that can actually be counteracted here either side of Rapture. going to be interesting. Actually going to be seeing different in add-ons. So sticking with the one for the haste, that does seem to be relatively consistent, but does seem like the other add-on, if I can just see quickly. Yeah, it's going to be the spent oxygen tag. So slipstream survivors, they get exhausted for 6 seconds once a slipstream is on them. So be sure to use that in a chase. Deny value from things like balance, like life. The rest of the build going to be relatively standard. The eruption there for a little bit more, you know, gen power, and yeah, going to be fine onto the first survivor. But EMP picked up quickly means that Wispy isn't going to be caught out. It's better to know your enemy, right? Wispy, having just played a spectacular Singularity, knows exactly how to counter one too.
Yeah, definitely, and oh, I'm surprised that teleport didn't happen there. But yeah, Wispy was doing a pretty good job of hiding behind such a thin object like a hook, to not get gunked. The EMP came in, but he already is gunked again, teleporting to him. Let's see. Oh, drops the pallet at the tile, and let's see. Okay, just going for the pallet vault. That is definitely the correct play. Although now Molitar is overclocked, and that's a down. Yeah. Wispy is at a pallet, so there could potentially be a save here, but it doesn't look like there will be one, and that is the first hook of the game.
Wispy recognizing that they didn't really want to go straight through the window there, because the teleport would have come in really, really easily. Would have been very free, would have had another free vault, made more distance, and likely would have shut the gap. Tried to make it to a pallet instead, something which, again, a Singularity is still strong against once you're slipstream. The sign where you can buy a little bit more time, maybe a teammate comes in with an EMP. Didn't work out. First gen is going to be popped on the other side of the map, doubled up, and bolts are, interestingly enough, not actually able to get value there from the pain resonance, showing not just to why a lot of these players like to run agitation. But look at this setup of these pods. That is criminal. This map, so open, so many high points to place those pods upon, and call Bolt our big brother right now, because he's got eyes on the entire map.
Yeah, I was saying last match as well that this is a really kind of crazy map for Singularity due to all the spots that they can put cameras up on, as well as how open the center area is, so you can tag people pretty easily. Looks like Wispy is going into second stage at this point. Yep, that's second stage, and... is that I believe that was a blown skill check or something, but... Going over to this gen back by the gate, and...
Oh! Sprint Burst is going to be coming out there from Horn by the looks of it, so a little bit of distance has been made there. Again, not actually getting hit with the slipstream means that no exhausted comes out. Horn can still use the Sprint Burst nice and safely, and it looks like Bolitar is just going to be playing for this camp out, realizing that the strength of Singularity comes in the end game. But no, 1-for-1 trade. Yeah, Jar's going to be going for a 1-for-1 trade, so you respect it here. You leave someone alive for a little bit longer. That eruption is going to be a little rough onto Horn, and honestly, the tunnel is just going to be coming out from Bolitar here, so may have even hastened the death of Wispy.
Yeah, and playing Shaq against Singularity is rough, of course, because, well, yeah, you just kind of see the angles that Bolitar is tagging them at, and it's just kind of rough because overclock makes you vault faster, and they can't use the pallet on you, and you can just break it if they drop it early extremely quickly. That's a teleport onto Wispy. Doesn't quite get the hit yet, but this could be a down soon. Oh, overclock just ran out. Teleport breaks the pallet. Another gen has been completed. Wispy is still running for their life here. Wispy is on death hook.
Everyone's here! What's happening? There's a party in the corner, and the Singularity is invited all of a sudden. Still doesn't care about this down, still wants Wispy, the prime target, the one who must not live. And yeah, likely going to be going to this main building, nothing to work with here, going to be going down. But a lot of time has been bought here by the rest of X9, so obviously Bolitar maybe a little annoyed at, you know, Wispy's performance in that last set as Singularity. Gonna be interesting enough there. You really saw the exhausted working in. You really saw the exhausted that add-on working in Bolitar's favor, because Wispy had life, didn't have an opportunity to use it in the chase to make any ounce of distance. Though you consider, on a kill that can shut the distance on you so easily, does that even matter? If a killer, if the survivor gets far away and they're still without rest, you just end up on top of them anyway.
Yeah, but I would never count Bolitar out because you saw how last match went, right?
Yeah, that was a rough one. We'll be real.
Yeah, it sure was, and honestly, X9 only has to do one more generator before they're going to hook state, before they're guaranteed to at least... Oh, yeah, only one more gen before they win, I'm fairly certain.
They're gonna need 2 gens to win this one out. Obviously, 1 gen likely gonna get beaten, gonna get completed in the meanwhile. Yeah, you see both survivors split up. It's likely that 2 gens are just gonna be completed here. Once that is done, it is Jojo, as they say. 4 is completely over for him. And yeah, split is coming through just fine. And yeah, Pain Resonance does buy a little bit of extra time. We know that's the most progressed gen, just under halfway through. Haunt is going to be tagged up, and likely expecting an EMP to come out here. But actually not going to happen. Is Haunt just an absolute unit and just sticking on this gen despite being tagged? Seems like it.
Yeah, and Bolitar saved their pop for that generator instead of the other one. They started kicking it but didn't finish it. I have a feeling that Jaw is going to go to second stage very soon.
just an inkling, you reckon?
Yeah, only a tiny bit, obviously.
Yeah, of course. Happens to the best of us. There we are. He's going to be looking at Nancy here. Going to be tagged up with the slipstream. Oh, looking for the very cheeky TP. Not quite working out there. Going to have to do with a regular break of Shaq Pallet, and now just desperately searching, hunting for where Nancy could have gone, but somewhere over the rainbow sheet it is. They're not going to be finding them there. Trade is going to be coming out here. This is going to be the ace, actually. So everyone is injured, but Nancy still fine to go over, work on a couple gens, because at the end of the day, an objective-based game, you do gens, you win.
That is very true. Jaw is on Death Hook, injured and gunked. That's the teleport. Jaw doesn't even have an EMP in hand. Yeah, that's just a down. Well, that is... Yeah, that is 2 dead at 2 gens left. It is not looking good for, I'm blanking.
Yeah, not looking good. not looking good here at all, yeah.
Yeah. The teleport did come in, and that is a down on Nancy there, and yeah, Singularity is just gonna go after Haunt here.
Mid-gen hasn't been completed, and yeah, Haunt actually going down. Not being able to complete that mid-gen, the value at the very end there from the Pain Resonance was absolutely perfect. Sprintburst is going to be buying Haunt a little bit more time, but if Haunt goes down here, it's all over. But the crying for... Yeah, if Haunt goes down here, it's all over for the crying for Team X9. Strong performance there from Wispy, but yeah, just going to be beaten out here. And Rapture on, remember, not their killer pick to be, remember, this was X9's pick. They were confident in their Singularity play, but no, 3 gens getting complete, less than what Rapture were able to achieve during their Survivor round. And yeah, I'd also be happy about that, Bolitar. I would also be nodding my little robot head.
Yeah, for sure. That was just an impressive display by, well, both teams really, but
yeah.
It was especially a good performance by X9 coming back from 1 gen left, but yeah, that was the second match of that set, and we do not have a tie, so I stick around because next set we will have Huntress, so stay tuned for that. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. We are here today with Rapture on Huntress in Larry's Memorial Institute. Edgar, how do you think this set is going to go?
I mean, Ryan has the eerie head, but also Now, obviously, you see the iridescent head, and you panic. You think, okay, what the hell? This is overpowered. This is busted. What the hell? This is broken. DBDLeague is the worst organization ever made. But at the same time, Larry's is. I was gonna say it's a map with quite poor sightlines for Huntress. Not really a lot of places to use that hatchet. I say that, but then Wispy just kind of runs into Rian there. Unfortunately, obviously, we did just have to deal with a little bit of housekeeping, but hopefully that's all out the way and we can just focus on the game at hand. But it was actually going to happen. Not entirely sure if there wasn't a nearby hook or whether it was just something that was slightly overlooked there. But now you don't actually have a hatchet back on the Huntress. So going to be reloading, becoming undetectable for a bit. Now this is something that could work. This is something that could work in the Huntress's favor.
Yeah, that is true, because the only thing that still happens when she's undetectable is her lullaby, which is, as you know, a very large radius. It appears that Ryan has found the Nancy going upstairs in main, that was a...
What?
Yeah, that was a really good mind game on Ryan's part, I have to admit, just expecting Nancy to drop down, and she did. Oh, but for the people, already back up. Adam going crazy with the For the People, running back upstairs. They split off, one took the window, one's going downstairs.
Yeah, really interesting. And now, yes, there's a lot of injures coming out, but if you think about it, you're the Huntress. You only get a single hatchet, and for the rest of it, you're a 110 killer. You don't even love the prospect of chasing these injured survivors, because, like, okay, you're playing with a single hatchet. Now, yes, when you're hitting shots like this and you're on fire, such as Rian is right now, it certainly helps. Agitation is going to be coming out. This map can be notoriously tricky to get to those Scourge hooks, and I think that's why the hook didn't actually come through earlier onto Wispy going for a Scourge hook. Likely going to be happening now. Gen has already been completed, but maybe at least cutting down a little bit of progress. That's actually going to be the most progressed Gen there, so good information coming through.
Yeah, definitely, especially on an indoors map with, as you said, very little line of sight. If Ryan plays their cards right, this could be a very nasty 3-gen I'm seeing here already. Especially on a map such as this with Eerie Head.
Yeah, this is weird synergy, anti-synergy. Look, I'm just gonna say the rules committee has been absolutely cooking with this one, playing on this map. You see Reed just tossing hatchets into the floor to be able to reload to become undetectable again. You're playing Huntress on like the worst Huntress map in the game, but you also have one-shots. You can also go undetectable, but there's a lullaby happening. Cookery has occurred here, ladies and gentlemen. And right now it does seem that obviously Rapture were benefiting off the back of that initial down, but has been unable to really lock down any other targets thus far.
Yeah, you just had to curse it, didn't you?
My bad.
That happens to everyone. I wonder if this is okay, with the way Ryan's walking, this is definitely being taken to a Scourge hook, right? Or I guess
no.
Wow. I thought that was Scourge hook. Okay. Well, reloading for the stealth. That is already an unhook and a For the People. That's Jaw is doing some crazy stuff with For the People this game, I have to say.
Yeah, being able to get right here, but my game is pallet, and yeah, the crouch ain't gonna be coming through in time, so gonna be Nancy, gonna be found out, getting hooked up once again. And yeah, something interesting that I've just learned, ladies and gentlemen, it turns out that for this set, these add-ons are locked in, so this isn't just a choice that has been made here. This isn't just a choice that's been made here for Rapture. As entertaining as that choice would be, they have been forced to they've been forced to run this, which is, I guess, it has its merits in its ability to insta-down survivors and their mistakes. Again, you wouldn't think of Huntress as a stealthy killer just based off of that lullaby, but it's omnidirectional, and it doesn't get louder or anything when they're closer to you. And on a map like Larry's, which isn't the biggest map in the game, you're likely just going to be hearing it in the background a whole lot. Doesn't really give you that much indication as to where they are. But, attempt for a head-on play. Grab going to be coming through there. That's the eruption propped as well.
Yeah, really,
not in the head.
really good job of baiting out the head-on there. And yeah, this build is strong just because, you know, like we were saying earlier, omnidirectional lullaby doesn't get louder or have any indication other than you are within 40 meters of her. Whiffing the hatchet on Jaw there. But, you know, especially on a map like this with such closed lines of sight, it definitely gives her an advantage with, you know, stealth killer insta-down, like, almost like Ghostface or something.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, Ghostface is a killer that's often favored on Larry's, but I guess Huntress is similar to Ghostface, right? Very stealthy, doesn't yell all the time, you know, wearing a cloak the whole time, come around the corner. Didn't even... Jar had no idea what was happening there. Jar had no clue where. Jar had no clue where he was going through. Ends up running right into the face swing. It's likely, yeah, going to be another Scourge Hook as well, just getting that progress down. Only 2 gens have been done. Rian is cooking. I don't know what's happening, but it's working.
Yeah, definitely. And yeah, baiting out the head-on from Wispy again. Just really solid at that so far this set. Ace is the only one up still, and he's injured, so this could be potentially game here. Those are scratch marks. I wonder if Ace is gonna go try and maybe get Wispy up? I'm not really sure what else they could do at this point in time.
Yeah, going to be trying it, but obviously you got a Huntress hot on your heels. Really actually looking to be giving up the chase or maybe trying to cut off Vicious there, but obviously an injured survivor is always going to be far easier to track. You see these pools of blood, you see the direction, you hear the footsteps, yeah, you know exactly where he is, and you are going to be relentless like an animal on this Ace, chucking a hatchet into the floor just to assert your dominance. You don't even need to hit him with it. You just chuck it in the floor to show, yeah, I could have hit you, but I decided not to. Jar's going to be going to second stage here, and yeah, this chase is just going to be coming through. Now undetectable, so Vicious isn't even going to have a clue where the Huntress is. Obviously, checking that corner certainly seems to help. We have the 9 games going through, but this pallet, you're locked into the animation, you get shot up. Looks like it's going to be a clean 4K, barring some kind of miracle at the hatch. Again, hatch spawn, even if you bring offerings, hatch spawn isn't really set on this map, so this is going to be maybe potential for Wispy here to get a very lucky crawl into the hatch. But other than that, we're looking at a strong 4K with 3 kills and Huntress on Larry's, ladies and gentlemen. Huntress on Larry's. Need I say more?
Yeah, especially with those add-ons, it's just kind of rough for the survivors. And like I said, closer to the beginning of the match, Ryan did have a potentially very grody 3-gen there, even if they did make it farther than they did.
Yeah, now we just see and now we see the fun part of Dead by Daylight, the part where you get to sit on the floor as your teammates die around you, wondering what exactly you're doing here. Obviously, seeing build here, the head on here from Wispy never really got the value it was looking for. Actually, ended up getting caught in a locker trying to use it. It was baited out very successfully. But yeah, I mean, the Huntress was picked here from the side of Rapture, and credit where credit's due. Rapture, they put in a great performance on Singularity, got the win here, and now they get to play their Huntress. Only 2 gens completed. That is unbelievable. Hit on the hook. That's going to be minus mark on the Steam profile. My lord.
Very true.
It's the only counter to this build. It's the only counter to this build. Holy hell. Well, what we just witnessed there is some prime fashion Dead by Daylight. It's not often that you see a Huntress on this map. When you do, you often don't see, you know, these kind of wacky builds being run, but if it works, it works. 4Ks are 4Ks at the end of the day. They do not lie with the results. If you've got an issue, I don't know, take it up with the rules committee. This is fun, so I don't even blame them for it. We're going to be back very shortly after a quick break. See whether X9, they've not been as mentally boomed by this series as I have, and whether they're able to carry this one all the way through. So don't go anywhere. We're going to be back very shortly. Blood, guts, and gore is what we saw in our last series, and we're going to be seeing a hell of a lot more of it now. It is now X9's turn. Wispy once again on the killer. Ruin tell me more about the ruin here, because I'm very interested in this, Jojo.
Well, on this map, it's kind of a pain in the rear to find totems. I think that would be the main philosophy behind it. That's really all I have to say on that. Like, it's just hard to find totems on this map.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, in terms of slowdown, obviously it can help, but obviously you need to be pressuring the gens that Survivors are actively working on. You need to be thinking about defending the totem itself, and you also need to be thinking about the time. And already we can see X9, they're just taking slightly longer to get that first initial killing blow. By this point, last time, Rian had already gotten it down, already was walking over to the hook. It's obviously is going to be finding Henu here, and it's always a 50-50 when you approach these pallets of, okay, well, are they going to carry running, or are they going to run back to drop? Now, obviously, Henu right now having the wherewithal to just keep on running. Feels like Wispy's going to want to charge up some Bloodlust for this, but no, as we approach here, yeah, I mean, not a whole lot that could have been done there.
Yeah, I kind of had to run into a straight line against an airy head Huntress. Getting basemented in main here, which is less than ideal against Huntress, to say the least, especially airy head Huntress. I mean, you know, anyone tries to go and rescue Henu, they're just gonna go down. Unless they do some sick juke.
Yeah, and yeah, Survivor's obviously knowing about Ruin here, and okay, kill a jump scare, I suppose.
Yeah, I mean, that's Flick's already down.
I mean, we were talking before about how impressive it was from... We were talking before about how impressive it was for, you know, being able to only have 2 gens. What are you doing? They have families! It's me! You can't be doing that, bud!
This is already looking like a pretty bad snowball for the survivors. If Bolitar gets found here, this match is already over. Unless they wiggle or something. But what are the odds of that, right?
Yeah, Rapture's been practicing this all week, and now they're all down. Now Bolitar is going to be working out there, but the Bolitar realizing this is what it's come to. Going to be forcing the pick, buying time here for Flicks to run around, pick them off the ground. So now we at least have 2 survivors who are up on their feet. Obviously, 0 gen progress being done here. Oh, you got 2 survivors in the basement. This is disgusting. This is disgusting, Wispy. What you doing, mate? Oh my lord.
Yeah, and the survivors haven't even finished a generator yet. This is looking... Well, I'm not gonna count them. I'm not gonna count Rapture out entirely, of course, but it is not looking good for Rapture so far, and that's another basement hook, probably.
I mean, probably, certainly, if yes, no, maybe so. Yeah, Henu's already dead. Flix injured, not long for this world. If an injured Flix is able to do 3 gens, I'll eat my own dog. I will leave the country. I'll shave my head bald and do any other ridiculous thing. Point is, it ain't happening, bud. This was a beef of galactic proportions. Just put it bluntly.
Oh,
a beef of galactic proportions.
Oh yeah, definitely. Man, this is probably the roughest possible position to be in right now.
I feel like I need a shower just watching this, honestly. I feel like I need a shower after this. You see the self-unhooks slowly ticking up. Obviously, that's not going to be something that's allowed, but... Oh my god, Flake's just going around the outside from that. I mean... Flake can't even just escape through the hatch. Obviously, you'd think, okay, well, maybe you find hatch, whatever. Flix cannot do that for any attempt of winning, but I think the world and everyone here has just accepted that, you know, Rapture has in fact, sorry, not Rapture, sorry, X9 has just won this set. So it does look like we are going to be going to our 3rd set on Deathslinger. Rapture taking the win on Singularity. X9 taking not just a win, but a domination here on Huntress. So yeah, Gonna be going over to Deathslinger. X9's picked here, but so something that could work in their favor. Both these teams, their killer picks haven't actually worked out, so only put as much stock into that as you wish you would.
Yeah, Hex Ruin was definitely a strange choice, but I guess it didn't matter since it got disabled really soon into the game with one person dead. And then 2 more followed, and I won't be surprised if Flix gets found and hooked as well at this point, because even if they don't get found, they gotta do, what, like 3 generators by themselves? That's not happening.
Yeah. Where there's a will, there's a way. These are pro players, obviously. They're skillful enough to just do 3 gens alone, right?
Oh yeah, totally, man.
I mean, yeah, surely you just... Oh, no. You found him.
Now it's over.
Go for the trick shot. Couldn't quite get it through the door. Go for the trick shot here. Give us something to work with. Come on, the series ended.
Oh, now the hatch.
Oh, that's really disastrous here for...
yeah, really... I mean, it was practically secured beforehand, but Wispy just secured the win for them. Yeah,
disastrous there, yeah, going down at the end. Oh my god, X9 pulled it from the brink. Rapture, really, not sure if there's lack of practice from Rapture, not really scrimming this kind of matchup, obviously. It is very specific, you do not often see this build coming out. Likely just something that they were caught unprepared for, but at the same time, you think, but this was also their pick. They knew exactly that they were playing serious. They wanted it, even. But the moment the push came to shove, they all just fell over.
Yeah, that was kind of just a disaster for Rapture, I have to admit. But, well, like you said, we're gonna move on to our potentially final set of the night, which is Deathslinger, so be sure to stay tuned for that. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. We are here today with X9 Wispy on Deathslinger, and we are on... well, honestly, I forget the specific map, but Suffocation.
Suffocation Pit, yeah.
Yeah, we are here today on Suffocation Pit, pretty grody map for Deathslinger, like a lot of the maps for a lot of the killers have been today, in fact. But, well, Edgar, how do you think this set's gonna go?
Well, it's all... at the end of the day, it's all about the mechanics, you know? At the end of the day, you play Slinger, it becomes an FPS game. You hit your shots, shoot them in the face, they die, simple as that. Keys and the cigar going to be around here as the add-ons. No real surprises there. No real variation in the build either. Mostly just going to be regression. No agitation, but on a map like this where it's a lot more open, you don't have to navigate tight corridors and such. Hopefully you're able to just get a good split, relying on that split being decent. And yeah, looking to land a shot there, but going to be baited out relatively well. Missing a shot on Slinger is so punishing. You know, a kill like Huntress, you miss a shot, it doesn't really matter. You generally go again, unless you're, you know, Eerie Head on Larry's Memorial, but that's an issue for another day. But Slinger, it is so punishing. You have to cool down, you have to reload, and yes, you mitigate that with the keys a little bit, but it doesn't change the fact at the end of the day that missing a shot on Slinger is so punishing.
Yeah, it really is. I used to play Slinger a lot. It always sucks when you just barely whiff, especially through like a crack or something. Does manage to land the hit on Flix though. This is going to put them in deep wound. Looks like Flix is running off toward this tile with a corrupt gen on it. This is pretty rough to play against Deathslinger at, but I mean, yeah.
Oh, that is juicy right there. Grade A, complete non-GMO cheese coming through that window right now, and Flick's going to be going down for the troubles, and that's exactly what a good Slinger can do, completely circumvent these windows, any single opening, any single crack, you take it. Interesting that opted not to let the chain break initially. Just don't think there was enough distance or enough scenery to let that happen. Obviously, you generally want to do that with the cigar, you know, allowing, you know, the cooldown. It's essentially a pocket save the best for last. You hook someone in, you reel them through, it's fine. Another dodge going to be coming through there, and yeah, you have to be expecting those jukes to come through if you're against a slinger. And that is cheap. That is cheeky, Volatile, mate. What are you doing? What are you doing?
Looks like the chain's gonna break, and that's gonna put Bolitar in deep wound, but they couldn't finish that gen in time.
Yeah, no distance either, as we said, Cigar reducing that stun so much. Obviously, going to be using the pop there, likely a good thing, as 2 gens are going to be flying by in the meanwhile. Unhook has come in onto Flicks, and ooh, just a little go through the window there. Really, it's really dangerous trying to look for these shots. High risk, high reward is Slinger. As we've said, your punishment for failure is all-consuming and horrific, dare I say. So we're going to be looking whether Wispy can do that, especially looking at tiles like this where there's so many walls and it's so awkward to actually try and get that angle. Just going to be forced to break the pallet and run normally. Interesting firecracker there, and that's Flick's going to be going down for that.
Yeah, that's the firecracker down, as well as eruption on that generator, and also a hook. Yeah, like you said, very high risk, very high reward, but that just makes those shots through things like cracks and killer shack walls all the more amazing when they do happen, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and getting pop again, still has 3 stacks of pain resonance. Things are looking okay for Wispy right now, but they're also looking alright for the survivors, I have to admit.
I mean, you say looking okay or decent, but ideally, you don't want... Oh, nice timing for the people there coming at the perfect time to save the life of Flicks. Going to get tunneled out, recognize this, dodging another shot. But at this stage of the game, you don't really want 3 stacks of pain resonance still up, you know? Obviously, yes, you're tunneling someone out, that's fine, but 25% regression, 50%, 75% if using all of them. Big shot is going to be coming through chain, but this is why, there's the chain add-ons are sometimes run to allow things like that, and a little bit more durable the chain can be to actually allow you to get those hits over pallets. But you know, pallets really are a big weakness if you're on one side of it. I mean, you're essentially unkillable if you're injured.
Yeah, very true. As well as pain res, it is also a bad thing that there's still 3 tokens remaining, I agree.
What?
Oh,
you disgusting man, Wispy.
Yeah, like I said, just makes those insane crack shots all the better, doesn't it?
Yeah, sure does. Obviously going to have to get out of the suffocation pit itself to actually land. So going to be seeing whether this one is pain resonance. If you need it, yeah, now's the time to have it. Going to be helping out here. Going to be looking at the split of gens. There isn't really a 3 gen in the slightest. You have these 2 relatively close together, but that one way off in the distances. Far too far to really comfortably call this a 3 gen. So good play here. Yeah, honestly, quite good play here from the side of Rapture to get that out. Shot coming through with him once again, and it's so bad to be missing the kind of shots. Going for it once more. Nothing but net.
Yeah, it is rough being a 110 killer when there is a 3 gen like this, just one off in the corner with 2 relatively close to each other, because Slinger doesn't have high enough range that I think he can...
Oh,
that was a hit. Yeah, that was a really good smash hit by Cartney there. Mind game at check. Is he gonna get a crack shot?
Oh, patience.
Oh,
missing again!
Very quality juke.
Yeah, good jukes there from Cartney, and yeah, I don't want none. Yeah, Slinger side, you don't want none, and yeah, 2-man not actually going to be committing to that gen, so leaving it very close by instead. Chase coming out onto Claudette. Slightly this gen's going to be called out. Everyone knows where it is. Everyone wants to get it done. And yeah, chasing this Claudette. It's just buying time, all the time in the world. Going to be seeing whether there's adrenaline on anyone here. Yeah, once again, just... mostly... You can't really be blaming Wispy for these, though. The dupes come out at sort of the perfect time just to dodge. But it's all muscle memory, you know? The dodges are coming out exactly when you would expect the shot to be flung out. A little bit of patience from Wispy may pay off, but at the end of the day, it's mostly on these survivors just dodging these shots. You can't be attributing too much of that to the killer here.
Oh yeah, no, this I mean, them dodging these shots is definitely a skill on the survivor's part. I'm not. Wispy's actually making some pretty good shots. It's just that the survivors are doing better at dodging than they are hitting. And that's adrenaline on Adam, who he's chasing. Well, that's 5 gens completed. It's already not looking amazing for X9, I have to admit.
X9. I mean, you see the idea there. Flix is going to be going down. Yeah, here the ring in there indicates that right on you're going to be breaking the chain. Try and follow up onto Rian here. Thought he's going to be open. Body block is here from the David. It's like a horror film. All your friends just get snatched up right in front of you. But yeah, it's definitely better that Flix went down there instead of Rian. If you're thinking about Flix stages, Flix only got one more potential stage left, and well, Rian would have had 3. In the meantime, Cartney and the Slinger doing a nice little dance about in circles.
Oh, very solid harpoon.
Never mind, yeah, and that's going to reel in Cartney. Remember what we were just saying about the hook stages? That's going to be a fresh hook, and potentially 3 stages onto Cartney here. Going to be seeing whether there's going to be a reset coming through and they want to try and get this, or whether they're just going to accept the 2-man escape and cut their losses.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not really sure how they get everyone out at this point. I'd imagine at least one person isn't going to live. Deathslinger has found Ace. Doesn't get the shot before they round the corner. Good mind game with that Z-wall.
Gonna get caught anyway. Rian's in the background, hasn't actually left yet, trying to maybe get through. And remember the cooldowns. Remember the cooldowns. This is do or die time. You have to dodge a shot, yes, and it is going to happen. Bolitar likely going to be taking the escape right now. In the meantime, Rian actually getting the unhook onto Cartney, but again, both of these players, both relatively fresh hook, and I highly doubt both of them able to escape. Bolitar actually nerves of steel. They're not going down. Ooh, unfortunate there. Rian just dodging very slightly by the wayside. Wait, Flix is up as well? What's happening? This might be the beat of the century from this Slinger.
Yeah, and that'll be the last fresh hook if Wispy hooks Ryan. So that could be... That's more factors to add to a potential tiebreaker. But, X9's gonna have to get 5 gens done to even compete. And that's... I mean, that's always a tall order, but especially in an environment like this. But, you know, I'm not going to count them out before they even start, right?
And if you're X9, the only real thing you can be confident here is this last hook into Rian. Again, getting a little more value than maybe you would have expected. A single hook onto Cartney, as well as this full clear onto Rian. So gaining an extra 4 stages when realistically you didn't even have them banked. You didn't even really have them banked up in the first place is phenomenally good there. Very strong survivor play from the side of Rapture there. Going to be seeing whether they shut this series out or whether X9 is able to surmount some kind of impossible comeback. Find out after this very short break. And it all comes down to this. Our series between X9 and Rapture going to be determined here by Bolitar's gunslinging abilities. Going to be finding a survivor very early, running a similar build. However, no red here could actually be deadly in the end game. Realizing that you're probably going to get to that place when you're playing a character like Jojo. What was that? I don't know.
Misclicks happen.
Yeah,
that's all I have to say on that.
Yeah, misclick certainly did happen there, going to be shown there. Quick reload is going to be an advantage here to try and get that shot, rushing it a little bit. Not a lot of patience coming out from these Slinger players. Might be a virtue in this sense, but, you know, you do need your kills as quick as possible and just quite losing that game there.
Yeah, this is a... That kind of palette for Deathslinger can go either way, really, but Jaw played it. Oh! Wow, that's that palette already. Drop. Wow, I wasn't expecting that. That was a really good job.
I'll put it bluntly, I don't think the survivor was expecting that, I don't think the kill was expecting that, and least of all, we sure as hell weren't expecting it. So it's going to be an early hook coming through, and remember, you're playing for stages here, not necessarily kills. Obviously, if you can kill everyone before all the gens are done, you'll take it, but Slinger has always struggled with that, has always been somewhere in the mid-tier, and at this level, really can get trounced on without some of those incredibly strong perks. And yes, they have them, but survivors also being able to play of their own accord cannot really... Slinger can't really compete most of the time. So I like the no-ed here. Obviously, this was locked in before they even needed to play this match out. But, yeah, definitely looking to get another kill, get a fresh 3 stages at the very end. And yeah, finding Mistress without using the gun is actually massive.
Oh, very solid shot, and that's going to be down. Yep. Alright, well, that is a second hook already. Definitely, I'm not gonna say anything on that matter. This game can go either way still. Although, survivors do have to do all 5 gens to, you know, even consider winning. So that could potentially be rough if either a better 3-gen happens for Deathy this time, or... I forgot what I was gonna say.
4 fresh hooks, 7 stages. That is the bar that was set by X9 on their Slinger round, and now it's just a Molotov. So got an early hook onto Jojo just for the stages. Looks like Mistress is just going to receive, you know, the standard comp DBD experience. Going to be camped out at the very least the second stage, and very cheeky, and Wispy. And this is a small thing, but Wispy realizing that has the breaking add-on, so not going to let him do that. In the meantime, save actually comes through. Mistress is going to be able to make it through there, and yeah, that's going to be trapped in the corner again. If you can get a hit without shooting the gun, I've already said this before, but then this gives you a lot of credence. Ooh, whistling past the ears there of VTRX, and yeah, X9 is still playing this relatively well. They're splitting the pressure, but, and again, as we know, 8 stages is what we're looking for. In lieu of that, you split the pressure, see if the fresh hooks end up mattering.
Yeah, a lot to live up to, but Molitor is hitting some very solid shots this game already, I have to say. Like, all around, these shots have just been very good so far. And that is, what, second hook stage on Ace now?
Yeah, second hook stage on Ace, so 3 hook stages in total coming through now. And plus, the opportunity to camp the Ace out. Now, obviously, you would like to maybe get some value from this pop. Would have loved it on that gen, but you know, you live, you learn, right? But it also just seems like fundamentally simpler Slinger play, and simpler does not mean worse. In this case, absolutely means better. Interesting choice, actually. Yeah, okay, gonna be picking Mistress there, and gonna be using for the people there. Instead, spread the pressure onto Wispy, and yeah, you cannot really rely on building up these stages one by one like this, especially with no-ed, an opportunity to get what is essentially 3 stages for the price of 1 at the very end of the game. Not really going to be working out. Wispy running in circles. Going to be seeing whether this will be juked out, but no, unfortunately not. This is going to be a down. This is going to be the 4th stage, and remember, we're looking for that lucky number 8 today.
Yeah, definitely, and, well, still has Scourge Hook Pain Resonance uses, so if that's the most completed generator, we'll know, and so will Molokar here. It's not, actually. Huh.
Oh, that's slightly concerning, so you know that the pressure has actually been split across these gens, leaves you shaking, crying, just shaking, crying, everything that you do. Nice juke there coming out from VTR again. Does not seem like the survivor that you really want to be chasing here. Has managed to elude all of the shots coming their way thus far. Another misclick. Slightly unfortunate, but every single second counts here, so it really could make a difference. In the meantime, Bolitar, again, can't really decide whether they want to stick around the hook, camp it all the way out, commit to finding more survivors, play in the end game for a no-ed. It's a really rough spot to be in.
Well, dare I say it, I think they're kind of 4-gen. This is quite the campable 3-gen.
You have a point. Oh my lord. Yeah, this is real bad. Yeah, standing on this hill allows you to see 3 of the 4th one just behind a rock. Ain't exactly particularly tricky to find. And again, Slinger, not the best at holding these, but when they're so close together, the threat of that gun can go crazy, as VTRX is actually going to get injured up soon. You have to be very careful here not to get shot through the crack, through the crevice. Oh, you go for the style point. Sometimes it pays off, but as we said, high risk, high reward, but all risk right now. All being played absolutely sublimely here from VTRX. Not a strong loop in the slightest, but has been eluding capture this whole time. Can only do for so long. Get that window, hit, come through. Going to be another fresh hook, and you really hope that this is going to be a pain res hook. If it is, this is disastrous for the side of X9. But if it's not, well, yeah, they're doubling up on this gen, trying to break the 3-gen, 4-gen even. Yes, able to break it just at the very end there. And we're going to be seeing, do they know about the no-edge here? Now, camping VTRX is not going to be enough to win the game. That would cause a tie, I believe. That would be this first stage, and then second stage, and third stage. That would... Wait, hang on a minute, 6 stages. Wait, no, camping VTRX, that would achieve 8 stages, I believe. That would win... Yeah, that would win the game. Camp VTRX to death, and that's a win.
Yeah, I'm fairly certain. It also... They might try to cleanse Noed at this point as well, but, like, even if they do that, I have to imagine they're going to try... Oh my goodness, that was a crazy shot.
Yeah, but it's also rough because the Noed is down, so obviously these survivors are very well drilled in how to execute these double saves very cleanly, very effortlessly. Yes, there's a bunch of injures, but these maybe aren't going to commit. Now you're thinking, if you're volatile, can you just get a single extra hook? One more hook is all you need to tie this up, replay the set, try again. But the body blocks are coming through. VTRX has been healed up. It is all on this Renato to just not die, but the body blocks are there. They're all going to be coming through. Can the needle be threaded at the last second? No, it will not. And by the skin of their teeth, X9 going to be escaping here. Wispy just about dodging that. And my God, X9, that was so close yet so far. Going to be winning this series out in a very, very close affair.